The Warka tree court. In a small village nestled on the rolling hills of Ethiopia, beneath the vast skies of the Horn of Africa, there stood an enormous fig tree known as the Warka tree. This tree wasn't just any tree, it was the heart of the community, a place where stories were shared, problems were solved, and justice was served. The Warka tree was like an open-air courtroom, where the elders gathered to listen, think, and help the village live in peace. Our story begins a long time ago, though no one remembers exactly when. What matters is that it has been this way for many generations. Under the Warka tree, the village elders, wise men and women who had lived through many seasons, held what was called the Warka tree court. These elders came from different families across the village. Some were farmers, some storytellers, and some healers. But all of them were respected because they listened carefully and used their wisdom to keep the village united. Now, the key characters in our story are three people. First, there is Kesa, a young boy with big curious eyes and a sharp mind. He's not an elder yet, far from it, but everyone in the village knows he asks questions no one expects. Then there is Amina, a woman known for her kindness and fairness, one of the village elders who always tries to see the good in people. Finally, there is Jallo, a quiet man who works with his hands, known for being strong, but sometimes quick to anger. One day, a dispute arose between Jallo and another villager over a small piece of farmland. Both claimed the right to plant their crops there. The argument grew louder and louder until it reached the ears of the elders. So, as was tradition, they gathered under the Warka tree to hear both sides. Amina began, "Let us all sit and speak with calm hearts. We come here not to punish, but to understand and restore peace." The others nodded, settling onto the cool earth under the tree's wide branches. Jello spoke first, his voice steady but firm. "This land belongs to me. My family has worked this soil for years." The other villager insisted the land was theirs by right of inheritance. The elders listened carefully, asking questions that encouraged honesty and reflection. But even with their wisdom, the truth was not clear. The stories didn't quite match, and frustration started to build. Then little Kessa, who had been sitting quietly nearby, stood up. "If I may," he said softly, "why don't we ask a simple question? A question that only the truth can answer." The elders smiled. They loved how children could sometimes see what adults missed. Kessa turned to Jallo and asked, "Can you tell us what kind of tree grows at the edge of your land?" Jallo looked surprised but answered confidently, "There is a baobab tree there, a very old one." Then Kessa asked the other villager the same question. "And what tree grows where you say the land belongs to you?" The other villager hesitated, then said, "There is a fig tree." Now here is where the simple question worked its magic. The elders knew well that the fig tree was in the middle of the disputed land, but the baobab was on the far side, away from the contested area. Jallo's claim didn't match the landscape. The child's question had gently uncovered a difference in their stories, one that showed one claim was true and the other was not. But the elders did not shout or punish. Instead, Amina spoke up. "Since the fig tree marks the boundary, the land next to it belongs to the one who knows it well. Jallo, it seems you were mistaken." Jallo lowered his eyes but nodded. "I did not mean to lie. I was afraid of losing the land." Amina smiled kindly. "That is why we gather here, to listen and to heal. The land is important, but so is our trust in one another. You will help your neighbor with his harvest this season, and in return, he will teach you new farming ways. Together, you will both benefit." And so peace was restored. The Warka Tree Court had done its work, not by punishment, but by reason, listening, and helping people find a way forward together. The child's simple question showed that sometimes the truth can be found when we ask with an open heart and a clear mind. This story reminds us that justice is not just about deciding who is right or wrong, but about bringing people back together, healing wounds, and building a stronger community. In our own lives, whether at school, work, or home, we can remember the Warka tree and the power of honest questions and kind listening. So next time you see a big tree or a quiet place where people gather, think of the Warka tree court, where truth grows like the branches above and justice blossoms in the shade.